right, let's kick it off.
Dang.
Kicking it off.
Let's first talk about how, like, we just came up with this in a span of 2 days.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, we just talked about this idea to do a little podcast about 24 hours ago.
Mhm.
in
We
the
just
same
make
seat.
things happen.
Yeah, CJ hit me up like, yo, you want to do a podcast tomorrow? I said, bet. Now we here.
But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you got something?
Let's
Also,
just
I
get
guess
into
I'm
it.
finna have
Yeah,
to
let's
carry this then.
Yeah, you're the host.
Oh, yeah, we can do the intros. Like, what do everybody do?
Shoot.
And I say what you do and your end goal, and then we can start getting more personal, like talking about who we are individually. But
Right now, I'm going to just introduce myself.
yeah.
I'm Leighton Lamel. I moved here about 7 months ago to New York City from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Shout out my city, man. I love y'all. I came here for acting training and modeling, but I use my social media platform to create content, and I love it. It's a great job, and my end goal is to be the best actor I can be and play in roles that I care about and make movies.
Do you care more about acting or like your social media presence
Acting,
and that stuff?
acting for sure. That's
Should've
a craft,
seen
bro.
him at that movie yesterday,
Yes, bro. I love going to the movies. It makes me feel like a kid again, and just
That's
being
dope.
really locked in. So, great feeling in the cinema. It's a great feeling.
What's your favorite role that you've done?
Honestly, I'm not where I want to be yet. I've done 2 short films, and a TV series, and a commercial, but I'm training so I can be a good actor. I don't want to be that TikToker or not knocking anyone, but that fashion influencer that just gets a role because of their platform. I actually want to be able to be in dramatic films and actually make art. So I don't want to get on the screen and be a bad actor, because once you're labeled as a bad actor, it's hard to come back from that. And I just want to be able to establish a foundation before I get in front of the camera on a real serious note.
Can you cry on command?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna have to save that for another day. We gotta give them something for next time.
It's basically with that, you have to daydream about something that, you connected to. And so if I could just think about it, I can get myself to that point. But I don't know. It's just something that you have to practice.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's a crazy skill for real. Like.
I'm CJ 1K, CJ Sayer, you know what I'm saying? But
Building.
I moved to New York in September during Fashion Week last year. I'm not gonna get into I moved here with a situation though, but after that whole situation, my life like really changed for the better. And it's only been like 8-9 months, I'll say, almost 8 or 9 months. I'm a content creator. I guess I'm a model because I was in Vogue. Shout out OG sending me that.
Yep.
But model, content creator. I do like social media marketing stuff, make clothes. Bro, I feel like I can do anything with like, if I say I'm going to do something, all it takes is a little education behind like what you want to do. And a lot of people I feel like don't want to feel dumb nowadays when it's really you just learning from people. Like when we were sitting in here talking to Andrew last
picking
time
up game.
2-3 hours, I'm like, oh shit, time went by. Like, but I guess my end goal with everything is I want to be like on social media forever. So my biggest thing now is like longevity, and I want to be a social media philanthropist. But I gotta make like some billions before that happens. So.
And that's like
And
the
it's
whole.
gonna happen.
Yeah, bro.
That's the whole concept of this podcast. Is just we were talking about the business of what we do and kind of the behind the scenes of how we got to where we were, kind of sharing how we all connected and what we're striving to do. And we figured if we filmed this and we recorded it, it might be valuable for somebody else who's just starting or looking to get started. So we're learning as we go, as we do this podcast. It's our first time doing a podcast.
Yeah.
We'll see where it takes us.
Yes, sir.
What about your story, OG?
My name is OG Wells. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri.
The
St.
city,
Louis,
St.
314.
Louis, man.
I moved to New York almost 3 years ago in November 2020, like pandemic, which was a crazy time. But I'm a model. Mainly, that's mostly what I do now. I model. I also do like styling, graphic design, a little bit of. I used to do fashion design, but I fell off. So a few things, but mostly I model nowadays. My end goal is hard because I wouldn't say that I have that like completely set out yet, but I know like I just want to be at a point where I have like creative freedom, financial freedom, and I'm doing something that I love, and I feel like I'm doing something that I love now, and I just want to get to the point where I could just like keep doing that, and add more of my hobbies, like get back to designing, get back to styling more, doing like digital design, all that. So
I feel like that's like the biggest thing is I think for everybody here is like time and location freedom. Some of us reached that point already, but we're not going to talk about that.
Nah, we going to talk about that.
Later.
That's how we got here.
Yeah, so I guess it's my turn. My name is Andrew Shu. I'm the founder and CEO of Bravest Studios.
Big CEO.
My mentor, the GOAT.
Big
Hold up, because he
CEO.
about to try and be
Big
too humble.
CEO.
CEO, GOAT. He been stamped in this industry that he in for a while. You got people copying him, and they mad. He not going to pop his stuff because, he try to be a humble guy, but that's what I'm here for
Yeah,
now.
I'm trying to play the humble card.
I love Andrew, man.
too, bro.
I met
Thank
him
you,
like
guys.
48 hours ago. I love it.
So I moved here 4 years ago from San Francisco, California. I started Bravest as just an art project, something that I wanted to do for fun and wanted to learn how to sell clothes and make clothes. My goal with what I want to do is, one, to turn Bravest into a generational heritage New York brand, one that's recognized and understood by people that come after us, hopefully people that come after them. And then my second goal is to empower the next generation of creative entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So people like the ones that are in my presence right now, hoping to support them and also
We
help
the
them
ones.
get their dreams out, like so many people have helped me.
My dog,
We the
man.
ones,
sir.
man.
Honestly, I guess I'll just kind of jump into this one now, how me and Andrew met. Bro, I don't know if I DM'd you or we was planning on working on something. We just like seeded me a piece or something. I'll kind of make it fast so we can get into other stuff. But like, he came over, I said last time, he parked all the way down the street. He came and like pulled up on me. Most people are like, oh, send me address, like we'll ship it out. He's like, nah, I want to meet you in person, like build a relationship. And that alone just had me like, okay, this could be something good. Now, where it's at now, I would have never thought it was going to get this far, but it's just like genuine love and opportunity. So he come in, we chop it up for a while, end up trying on both of the jackets, and he's just like, bro, have you ever dealt with like the politics and stuff of being in New York? And I guess I'll clip this story like right here for now just to ask y'all, like, have y'all dealt with the politics of being in New York?
That's a great question.
What do you mean specifically?
Like, you know how some people kind of click up with certain people because of opportunities they
Yeah.
can get and not really because they friends, or like people try to attach themselves to like events or be around certain places all day so your face just noticed of you've been around X, Y, and Z, or I don't know, you missing out on opportunities because a relationship you
Yeah.
thought was genuine wasn't genuine. It's just, I don't know, politics, bro.
Yeah, I feel like some people are just superficial. Like, they only want you because they may see an opportunity out of you. And although that's not a great feeling, that's just how people move. And
I
you
feel
have
like it's
to,
the game,
you have
bro.
to expect that. Like, what DMX say? He said, trust people to be themselves, but trust in the fact that you can see them well.
Mhm.
Trust a snake to be a snake. Trust a rat to be a rat.
Who said that?
DMX, rest in
Wow.
peace.
Oh, man.
That's awesome.
So you just gotta see it, but just move. Make sure you. I feel like you just gotta make sure you're around good people like this, and then good opportunities will happen. You don't have to force things. That's
Yeah.
what makes it politics.
I feel like here you gotta be good at like, it's called like perspicacity, like knowing what's going on around you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if you don't have that here, you're gonna fall into a lot of like BS a lot faster, because it's like, oh, I'm new to town,
Yeah.
like, but you don't notice all the people who's been here already and could have had like done snake shit to other people or anything, but they're trying to attach themselves to you.
Right.
You got this new face and new name, so it's like, oh yeah, I mean, CJ will vouch for me, like, and that's how it really be. So if you're not like perspicacious about the people you around or like the type of parties and events and stuff you go into, you'll get lost in the sauce quick, bro.
Quick, bro.
Quick.
Definitely.
This city's too big. You definitely gonna get lost in the sauce.
There's so many
sure.
people, and people think that like, oh, they're just staying like so low key and
Exactly.
like they could do to treat somebody a certain way and nobody would know.
Mhm.
Like, you just gotta watch out. Like, it's really all about even any city besides New York. Like, New York
Yeah.
is just it's the
Melting
biggest
pot.
city in the country. It's a melting pot. So like,
So would you say it's about finding your crowd or staying to yourself and letting
I would
things attract
say-
to you?
I would say find your people.
Okay.
'Cause like, of course, stay to yourself. Like, you're yourself.
Yeah.
Most people are gonna want to stay to themselves. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but we're social creatures. So like,
Yeah.
of course, you want to be around friends. You want to be around loved ones. Like, a lot of people move here. They don't have family here.
Very true.
So you're going to want to find, like, genuine connections. But it takes time to, like, filter out what's genuine and what's not.
Yeah, I think one of the tricky things with New York too is like, with how big the city is, there's always like this stream of shiny objects that come into your life.
Yes.
And I think like some people make short-term sacrifices that they think are worth it in
Yeah.
that moment, and they don't realize like this shiny object is seeing a lot of other shiny objects, and you might get passed up if you just like sacrifice your own personal relationships for this new person.
Yeah. 100%.
Mm.
That's another thing. Like, as soon as you step out in New York City, you definitely gonna spend some money. You definitely gonna spend some money, and it's
Man.
you look left and right, and it's like you said, so many shiny things, so many attractive things. So that's where discipline comes into play. Like, if you really want something and you want it bad enough, you're gonna be disciplined to the point
Yeah.
where you're gonna say, okay, I don't need this right now. That's a short-term goal. But if you want a long-term goal, you're gonna like map out the ideas and things that you want so that you can get it later on.
That makes
And
sense.
so that's why I feel like sometimes I just have to cover my face when I'm walking next to stores and stuff because it's so tempting. You see the things in the window so shiny, and
Yeah.
you just
And
want
then,
to.
like, you see the things, and then you see so many other people who have it, too. And
Yes.
it's just hard. So, like,
It's hard to say
It's
no.
kind of like maybe it depends on the type of person you are, cause like I feel like everybody in this room, like you see a shiny object and it's kind of like, okay, I can get that or I want that, but I'm not willing to do nothing fraudulent to get it. Or like, oh, they got this. Let's just talk a material item, like, oh, we got this McLaren. It's like I don't walk past that and be like, this fucking dude got a McLaren,
Yeah.
bro. Like, it's like, bro, I'm gonna get there one day and I'm
Yeah.
gonna have one. The network I feel like I'm building is also going to like prolong me into getting that.
Mhm.
And so I don't have to be like I crack jokes all the time. Be like, oh, I'm gonna start scamming. Like, I'm not really gonna go do none of that. But it's just
Off the
like,
record, off the
it's
record.
like, bro, I just want to like, I don't know. When I see items, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get that. And I know the person that got it, like, they had to work hard for it. Obviously, you got like trust fund babies or whatever, but even then, it's like their parents had to work. It came from somewhere.
Right.
So I think everybody here will look at an item and be like, okay, I want this. These are the steps I'm gonna have to take to try and
And
get
it's-
it. I'm not gonna have it tomorrow, but like, you never know. It might wither out and you don't want it at all come a year or two down the line. And it was just like, oh, well, I could get it now, but it's
and
not
I feel
that
like
important.
the thing about material objects, it's like, once you get it, you just gonna want something else.
You're right every time.
Like, every single time, it's like you reach a certain, I wouldn't say a certain level, but you say you reach a goal.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, like, proactive people, they're just always looking for the next.
Chasing.
Like,
Yeah.
it could be good, or it could be kind of like, I wouldn't say bad, but I would say like, oh, you still be grateful for what you got, you know?
True.
The chase is always better than the
Yeah, the
actual
chase is-
object.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
The lust.
Love the,
The
the thrill. The thrill.
That's why you
The
just
thrill
gotta
of it.
find the joy in the journey, man.
Yeah.
Oh, me, I was about to say that same thing.
Joy in the journey,
And I
cause
like get caught up in, cause my page then blew up crazy in like the last 2 or 3 months, and I be like, people ask like, or you've asked me before too, like, do you even feel like anything like when you walking around? And no, I don't until people come up to me and they're like, oh, I mess with your stuff, blah blah blah. But I'm just so focused on like going higher into
The
the
vision.
next step that I don't sit back and be like, bro, you just a kid from St. Louis. Like, this is crazy. You was playing football a year ago. So it's just kind of like, I don't know.
So what's the next step look like for you in your mind?
I don't know how I want to say it because I don't really want to put it all out there into the world. But it's kind of like, I guess I'll give it into a materialistic type of thing. I want an apartment over here in Soho, and I want to work out at Equinox every day. How I'm gonna get there, I'm gonna leave that to everybody else to find out real fast. I don't want to lay it all on the table.
Those are very achievable goals. I feel
Very
like you're gonna
achievable.
get there pretty soon.
Thank you, bro.
I believe so.
And also, we can go into like, I guess everybody talk about their story leading up to where you are now, and then we can kick it off with Andrew. Take as long as you want on it too, because I just thought about it. It's a podcast, bro. Like,
Yeah.
it could be 3 hours for all I care, bro.
Honestly, bro, I came from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, a
Yeah.
small city, and like it's not easy to make it out. You know, it's like I said, a smaller city, and a lot of people don't have the biggest dreams in the world. So I feel like already I made it out, and like I made it in life. But
Yeah.
I was there, and I wanted to go to acting school, and I would always write in my journal like, all right, I'm gonna move to New York, I'm gonna find an acting studio, and I'm gonna be in fashion. And I just kept writing it, and I also said I'm gonna get a camera, and I didn't know how long it would take, but I'm like, this is what's gonna happen. And so I would just be making videos, 3 videos a day, in my room in the attic, like just posting them, busting them fits out, and my page was just taking off. Like I had like watch parties with me, like actually watching the
That's
growth
crazy.
happen. It was insane. And I remember the day I reached 100K. I called my mom, so happy, like, Mom, I just reached 100K. She was happy, and the whole family was going wild. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm still here. Like, I gotta get out of this city. Like, so it was coming to the point where it was
100K cool. And
yeah,
all,
it's
but,
cool, but I gotta get out of here. But it was coming to the point where, okay, fall's coming around. That's the time when school starts back up and studios open. And I'm like, I'm still here. I gotta make it out. So I barely have any family here. So
Yeah.
I didn't have anywhere to live. At that point, I couldn't afford my own apartment. So I'm looking at, co-ed and things like that. And it just wasn't working out for me. So I made a call, and I felt like it was like a dreadful call, because sometimes I don't like asking people for favors.
Yeah.
And I made a call to my aunt and uncle, asking them if I could stay with them for about 3 months, and they said yeah. I was like, wow, okay, this is the start. And I was living in their basement, nothing crazy, and just really finding and maneuvering my way around the city to figure it out. And that time was hard. And then I moved back. That was 2021 fall. And then I moved back to Harrisburg because I had to leave. And then that time I was still like building my social media up. And then I found a way to move back to the city. And that was like a crazy experience because I was going to see like 6 apartments a day trying to find a place to stay.
What was the draw of the city? Like, why did you keep gravitating back? Like, it obviously wasn't easy or like intuitive for you to get here right away.
It was the opportunities. I could see how people move out here. Everybody seems like they have something going for them or they want it. And honestly, it was in the music too. I gotta shout out J. Cole. I don't know if he ever see this, but like his
Shout out J.
music,
Cole.
shout out J. Cole. His music like really drove me to the point where I believe that I can do it too. Cause he was from North Carolina, Fayetteville, and he moved up to New York City. So I felt like it was the same kind of story. So his music would kind of
That
push
love
me and motivate
yours,
me.
bro.
Yeah.
Love
And
yours
so
will
I
turn
would
me
Like
up.
the warm up, which
all
which
of that. The
mixtape?
warm up, Friday Night Lights, Sideline Story, Forest Hill Drives, all of it. And so that kind of drove me to the point of, okay, big city, big lights, all that stuff, dreaming, city of dreams. So I took that and really ran with it. And eventually that was the hardest time in my life, actually moving here, because I felt like no one wanted to accept me. And the job that I was doing was content creating, so there's no set salary.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor, so you can't see how much I'm gonna make. So all the property managers and agents, they like, kid, you're not gonna make it here. I had a lady literally tell me like, I don't know what you're gonna do, but you're not gonna make it. And I'm like,
That's crazy.
Crazy.
Well,
like
look
trying,
at it
trying,
now.
trying
Go and
to
manage those properties.
trying to break my soul, and I'm like, yeah, you could say that to me, but I know other people that did it. So you know what they say: successful people leave clues. So I just kept going, but there were some rocky moments, and there was a time where I got a call. I was coming out of class, and that was like the worst class I ever had. It was bad feedback from my acting teacher. Shout out him though, I love him, Terry Knickerbocker. I went out in the hallway and I got a call, and I'm like, what is this property manager want? She's just gonna tell me like everyone's favorite word, unfortunately, like, and she called me. She said, "You got in." I'm like, what do you mean? Like, she was like, you got into the property that you wanted. I'm like screaming to the top of my lungs, like, let's go. People looking at me crazy. I'm like, man, y'all don't even know what I just went through. Like, sleeping on the couch, all of that. Like, people don't know that.
Yeah,
I was sleeping
bro.
on the couch for like a month or two, and just still going to class, carrying 2 bags of like props for class, renting out peer spaces to create content. And people don't know that.
Yeah.
And like, I had to meet deadlines for certain brands, so it was very stressful at that point. But I feel like God put me in that situation because it was like he was like testing me, see how bad I wanted it, and see how strong my faith was. So at that point, I was like, anything's possible. I was just like, there's nothing I can't do. So from there, I just really acclimated myself to the city and starting to get to know more people. But shoot, it's only like my 8th month out here. like I'm still trying to get it. I'm still learning. I'm around good people too.
That's crazy. You've only been out here for less than a year.
Yeah, bro.
Both of you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Shoot, what motivated you to model out here? Like, coming to New York City.
Oh, we good?
We good?
Yeah. Is this one? I'm gonna need to reset.
Yeah, you might have to, honestly.
Shout out Owen, man. Owen, come sit
Owen.
over here for a hot second. You
Owen,
up,
yeah.
You up already, bro. Somewhere.
I start spitting.
Shout out Owen, man.
Oh, man, I just met Owen today.
Good
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely
Hey.
locked in now, bro.
Yes.
First day with all this shit. I never knew how to use any of this until
Really?
right now.
I thought you had the whole like
Nah.
you knew it because he told me yesterday. He's like, yeah, Owen went to go get like mics from B&H, but I'm just like, okay, but I seen you setting them up. I thought you just knew.
Nah, this man did it on the fly.
I opened these this morning. and
Okay.
first time.
Wow.
What?
So we're all winging this.
yeah,
This stuff is brand new.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
low key. I
Brand
mean,
new.
you here, bro. You can tell like I guess your upbringing to because I know some of it because of what he told me, but like. This is the first time me and you or any of us like really got to sit down and talk. So
Yeah.
like your upbringing and coming to New York. I know how like
Wanna
the getting
mine
here
too?
part. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
so
ahead,
I'm from Vermont.
Yeah.
I've lived there my whole life, except for 4 years in college, where I was in upstate New York. But in school, I started doing video shit, just
Yeah.
like, because I was like, oh, this is kind of cool,
Yeah.
watching YouTube tutorials and
bro.
stuff.
Sit in here.
And
yes, sir.
and then they had my school had like this big party event where they rented out a ski mountain for
Yeah.
a weekend. So I just brought my camera along freshman year. I was like, oh, we'll see what happens. And I made it thinking just like my friends would see it and it would be like a fun little thing.
Yeah.
And then I posted it like the night after, and then I was like, it got like 1,000 views in an
Wow.
hour, and that
What's
was
this?
like
TikTok or
on
like
Instagram.
Instagram.
And I had
Okay.
like 200 followers.
Yeah.
And I was like losing my mind, just like with my friend, just like refreshing it. I was like,
That's a big deal, man.
Oh, that's
was
the
like,
best.
dude.
Yeah.
And then like blew up at the school. Everybody saw it. And then from then on, I was like the video guy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I did that for 4 years at school. Then after I graduated, was like at home trying to figure out what the hell I was gonna do for
Uh-huh.
a year. And then in April, I moved down here and started freelancing.
No, I was about to say.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what I
crazy.
just
The
told
way-
him. That's what
yeah.
I just told him. I'm like,
No,
bro,
the
I
way
know.
that Owen and I started working together was honestly Owen, like, we'll post like job descriptions and stuff like that on LinkedIn or recruiting pages every once in a while, and honestly, a lot of people apply, and there's a lot of good people out there, that reach out, but Owen was the one that followed up the
Wow.
most. I remember he hit us up on LinkedIn. I think he hit my personal page too. I have no idea how he found that.
Owen
he was
said
in
he
like
getting that shit.
Yeah.
the
He getting that
brand,
shit.
the brand DMs. Like, I remember like clearly just like, okay, I'll get back to this guy later, and then I'd open another inbox, and he'd be there.
Bro was relentless.
Come
Come
on,
on,
man.
man.
Give my man
I
the
love
job.
Come to New York, and like, I remember telling people in the studio, like, yo, this guy's coming from like another state to like come and do this project, I think. And then we did like one or two small projects, and I was like, yo, you should just like move to New York. And then he was like, okay, I'm moving, off the strength of just like
Dang.
2 freelance projects.
W man.
So
I was about to say that's the type of dude he is, bro.
Yeah.
Because I was like, one of my friends has a brand. Yeah, shout out Sam, shout out Create More.
Uh-huh.
Fire.
But I was like helping him do that. I was like editing stuff for him remotely since like September and shit. So like there was already like, okay, I want to come to the city, but I can't make enough money, right? Like I don't have anything lined up yet.
Yeah.
So I was coming down like once a month, just sleeping on my friend's couch in Brooklyn, doing some stuff with Sam. And then when I was at home, I was just like grinding on LinkedIn, like are people looking for a videographer, a photographer, editor, whatever.
Mhm.
And then when I saw the Bravest one, I was like, oh shit, that looks cool. Like looked up the Instagram, I was like, okay, they seem pretty legit. Like this looks like it could be cool. And then once I met up with Andrew, when I was down here, and we talked, and I was like, shit, okay. Now there's like a little bit, there's more of a reason for me to just get my ass down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I did it, and then I've been here, and it's been sweet so far. So
Wow.
What's up, bro?
I just want to say 2 days after he moved here too, we had him filming with an NBA player. Shout out to Trevor Keels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fire.
But yeah.
that's my little story.
Got you.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
That's
Thank
the
you.
man behind all of this,
Yeah.
bro.
So
now you know who's
We had
behind
to
the
give him
line.
a quick plug,
The
bro.
producer. Thanks, Owen. That's so crazy. You could tell he really wanted it.
Facts.
Yeah.
So that's
Set up.
Well, I guess
Good.
it's my turn.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Slide down.
Oh yeah.
My friend.
Well, yeah. So like I said earlier, I model, so it's kind of a really long story of how I like ended up moving. Not too long. I'm gonna shorten it, but how I ended up moving from St. Louis, and I ended up going to New Orleans for school. And a lot of people like who didn't know me when I was in New Orleans or like knew me before like a few years ago. I went to school for pre-med in New Orleans, which is
Oh, wow.
That
yeah,
boy
which is
smart. And he a bad bitch.
which you know it's hard. Like that's hard. So like I went to New Orleans for pre-med, and it was crazy because like you go to this school and it's all like science majors. I went to Xavier University, Louisiana. It's HBCU, all science majors pretty much. So yeah, and like I was down there, all my friends, pre-med, all doing science, but it's crazy because like my best friends from down there, they're all just so creative people.
Yeah.
Like my friend Lang, he makes music. Jackson, he's a videographer, photographer, and they actually about to move to the city next month. So I'm
Hey.
excited for that. My friend Aaron, like they're all just so creative, and it was crazy going to a school that's like just so strict with like science and
Yeah.
academics, and you meet that crowd. And so yeah, like I ended up started like just shooting. Like I've always been into like fashion and things like that since I
Yeah.
was a kid, but yeah, so I started shooting with my friend Jax, like modeling in front of him, like modeling for like like people who had like brands in the school. Like I'm just shooting just because I
Yeah.
like doing it. Like I'm not getting paid shit. Like I was modeling for like until really I got signed. Like I didn't get paid nothing. I maybe got paid like $100 one time.
Yeah.
Somebody like I'm like, oh my god, this
Yeah.
is crazy.
That's a big deal.
But yeah, so
Some
like
pictures of me.
exactly for pictures. I thought it was fake. So like, you know, that's the thing I was about to go into. Like, as I was down there for school, I really didn't see like a path to like making a career out of like fashion, because New Orleans isn't like the biggest fashion city. Like you
Yeah.
don't see like too many jobs besides like retail jobs down there. So yeah, like I was still in school. So long story short, like yeah, I ended up like the pandemic hit, so I ended up dropping out of school like my senior year. Well, it all went online, so then like I transferred, and I was like, wait a minute, everything's online. I don't have to live in New Orleans anymore. And like by then, I've been like modeling for fun for like 2 years now. Just, you know, I think I'm getting good at it. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna move to New York. I'm gonna start modeling,
Right.
basically. So like November 2020, I ended up like moving up here. I'm skipping a lot, but like I was in New Orleans busting I was busting my ass to like I was driving Uber like all day every day.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
I was
awesome.
working. Like I'm sending emails to like get an apartment. Like the apartment I live in now, I didn't see it in person before I came. So literally everything I did was in New Orleans. Like I'm sending emails for months trying to find a place. Ended up finding a good place. It worked out. I ended up driving up here. Like been here ever since. And the crazy thing, like, I still didn't have an agency. Like, I wasn't signed to a modeling agency when I moved. But literally, like, it only took about a month when I came here, and I got with the agency I'm with now, State Management, and I love them. Like, they've been great. They've been, you know, really helping my career out. But the thing about modeling, like, if you don't have a lot of models don't have huge social media platforms, so, you know, it's kind of a upward battle to like work on your portfolio to show
true.
like you've worked with these brands, you've done this, you've walked this show, you did this campaign, you were in this magazine.
Yeah.
So like it takes a while to really get your feet down and really get to the point where you're like making more consistent money. Because I could say when I first started, because also it was the pandemic, we still had a lot of COVID restrictions going on. Like people weren't able to travel. People weren't able to, wasn't a lot of campaign shoots going on. Like if you were in this subway back then, like all the advertisements were old in the subway. So it was like, you know, it wasn't a lot of work to go around. So like when I first moved here, I was working at Shake Shack, bro. I was working at Shake Shack for months. Like I was busting my ass. I started working like in retail after like fashion retail. And I still work in retail now because, you know, New York's expensive. Like, but I could say like the past, like, honestly, really since last year, like last summer, last fall, I've gotten to the point where like I'm getting more consistent work. Like it really doesn't go more than like 2 weeks maybe for me to get a paid job. It used to be like I'm waiting a month, I'm waiting 2 months, maybe more. And I'm like, yo, I'm just working on my portfolio. But that's really it. Like I'm still here. I'm glad to still be here. This is a hard city to really just get by in, and I'm glad like I'm still at the point where, you know, I can work, I can hang with people, I can have fun. Like I've been having a lot of fun lately. Like we just came back from Paris. We're probably gonna talk about that.
That was crazy.
Like so like so you know, still here. That's me. So
Man,
Yeah, it's cool to hear about like honestly the humble kind of like dirty work that you guys have to do to go through. And I know you guys do show some of this kind of on your social media platforms and stuff, but I think just hearing it from the direct, like your guys' mouths directly, is encouraging for people, because I feel like so many people think that it's fast and that there's somebody else that can do that type of dirty work for you. But it's like even kind of at the level that we're all at right now, it's like day to day there's still dirty work, like you know, every single day stuff, just to, because it's not like we have big teams around us, and it's not like we have people to do every single little thing. You know, you're still steaming your own clothes, editing your videos. Like if you don't know how to do something on Adobe, like it might be 2 hours for a quick little transition or something.
Your story reminds me of like how I kind of like situated myself too. I used to work at Banana Republic. A lot of people didn't know that too, because I was really into clothes and fashion, and working there humbled me because I would have to go there knowing that, oh, I got to put out 2 videos. So I would hurry up, wake up in the morning, shoot 2 videos, be at Banana Republic with my phone like this trying to post the videos. So like everyone there was really supportive too. They knew what I wanted to do, and they knew I wanted to move to New York City. And that allowed me to get some retail experience, to work with customers and, you know, just really get that feeling. And I used to tell them like, yo, I'm gonna be out of here soon. Like, I'm trying to move to New York City. And like I said, they just was so supportive. And I'm glad I got that experience, because it showed me how that type of market operates and works behind the scenes. So yeah, that I
No,
like the
retail is
fact that that
definitely
happened.
like it's a great learning experience.
Yeah.
Like even me, like I said, I want to get into more styling things. It just teaches you so much about the clothes, like how they're made. But one thing a lot of people don't talk about when you're like working and like doing your own creative thing in the city, still working a job, like it's so hard to balance
It is.
that sometimes.
That's a
Like when I
fact.
was working jobs, like my job now is so chill with me. That's why like I love them
Yeah.
so much. But like when I first moved, I had like 3 or 4 other jobs, and like say like I book a modeling gig that I really really wanted, like huge campaign, magazine, this that, like I'm new to this, so I'm like
Yeah.
I gotta do this. But it got to a point where like your job is like, no, you gotta come to work. And then you're like, okay, I'm either gonna get fired or do this job, or like I gotta quit. And I had to do that like so many times, and then it's like nerve-wracking because you're like, do I keep following like my dreams, like what do I want to do, or like am I gonna risk that
Yeah.
for like, because some of these modeling jobs aren't paid, like magazines, a lot of time editorials aren't paid. You're just you're just in the magazine. It's a good look for your portfolio.
Right.
But like say you would shoot for like Days magazine, 10 Men, like you're not, a lot of models, like you're
Not
not
getting
really getting
paid.
paid for that. It's just a, because you're really paying for the big photographer that's shooting you,
Yeah.
the stylist,
look.
like it's a team. So like the models don't really get paid. They're getting paid in like clout or whatever.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
Getting paid in
yeah,
clout.
so it's like you would get I would get a magazine or something. It's like, yo, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm missing a shift, and they might fire me if I keep if I keep going and doing these jobs. And it's like, it's so nerve wracking. A lot of people don't know that. They think you're just like
Yeah.
Just
it's
doing
just,
it.
It's just
Just
you can do whatever
coasting.
you want. Yeah.
You have to want something. You have to want your dream more than you want even stability.
Mm.
You know.
Man, that's a fact, and I guess that's kind of like, I guess falling into my whole story, bro. I'm from the like trenches of St. Louis, bro. Like it's not really nothing going on there. The only way you make it out of St. Louis really is you gonna rap. You gonna rap. You gonna play sports, or like, I don't know, you go work at a law firm or be a doctor or something. But I didn't want to do that. But like me growing up, I grew up in like a household. It was just my mom. Like it was me, my little brother and little sister, just my mom. Big like sports family. My mom ran track, and like I said, my dad wasn't really in the picture, but he was cold as hell at track, bro. Like, so yeah, my mom and dad good at track. Uncles, they all play. Like everybody plays sports, bro. So green light, just like, okay, well, you gonna play sports. When I was younger, I hated football, bro, with like a passion. Like, I'm not about to run into people. I hate it. I used to go walk down to Heman Park down the street. I played for U City Outlaws.
Outlaws.
Yeah, U City Outlaws, bro. Go walk down the street. I used to
Right.
walk the street like, bro, sometimes just in tears because I did not want to go to practice, bro.
Damn.
And then, like, fast forward, I don't know, kind of just grew up in a bad area, and obviously, like, a lot of people would be able to relate to that, and as far as what I mean about bad areas, so I'm not going to, like, harp on that for too long, but ended up going to Chaminade, bro, Chaminade College Prep. I went to school with Jason Tatum for, like, my freshman and sophomore year, and I didn't even know who Jason Tatum or Chaminade was until, like, my first day of school. My mom like, you going to this private school? I die before you go to U City High School. Like, that's not happening. So, yeah, she worked her ass off and got me into that school. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to play basketball. I'm thinking I'm about to hoop now or whatever. I go to the first Chaminade game, bro. I'm like, yeah, ain't no way I'm hooping with them, bro. Like, Jason Tatum, bro, like, how he playing in the league, bro, he's been doing that since a freshman, bro. Like, none of his game has changed. He just got older and stronger, bro, and, like,
Wow.
wiser playing-wise, but he been hooping like that. Then you got Tyler Cook, Jericho, like, everybody's over 6'6", 6'7". If I was going to play, I was going to be a point guard. When I was growing up, I was always the big, bro. I don't got handles. I'm not like, I wasn't doing none of that. So I decided like, okay, well, definitely not going to college off doing this. I'm going to just try and do something else. So I started running cross country. Ran cross country, bro, and we did,
I know you ran cross country. I thought you was sprinting.
Nah, that was track, bro. But obviously ran track too. But
Yeah.
during basketball, it's not during basketball. It was kind of during football-ish, spring-ish, around there. And so I go to this cross country meet. Mind you, I go to Chaminade, private school, like Catholic school. I'm the only black dude running cross country, bro.
Yeah.
Like, so, and I'm actually doing good, and I low-key like cross country because you're running through trails and not like a big-ass oval over and over again.
It's like relaxing.
Yeah,
too.
it is, bro. Like, we parked the
Relaxing.
car.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It is.
We parked the car
Very track.
for my first meet, and it was this white lady in the car next to us. And when we parked and got out the car, I just, like, she said under her breath, but like, she knows she said that shit loud enough. She's like, oh no. Like, bro, and got back in the fucking car and drove off, bro. And I'm like, okay. Nah, bro, I'm not
That's
finna
crazy.
keep running cross country, bro. Like, my whole team, only white dudes. There's probably one other black kid. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing this either. So my mom dropped me off at cross country practice one day, and she ended up leaving. I'm like, look down at my phone. I'm not going to that shit. And because it was the first day of football practice, I don't know what just got. I'm like, okay, maybe I could just play football because I know hoopings. I'm not keeping up with Jason Tatum, bro. I'm sorry, it's not. And
not
it's only
happening.
15 people on the team. Football is like 60 to 100, bro.
Yeah.
And so start playing football. Bro, literally scored a touchdown every single game that year, like playing freshman or whatever. I'm taller than everybody, faster than everybody. I'm like, oh, this is my shit. Watch this. And so end up transferring from Chaminade, went to this school called Parkway North, and that's when, like, football just got to rolling. And honestly, content played a leverage in that because the whole sports scene, like that 24/7 sports or sports
Yeah.
recruits or ESPN, all that shit is backed by clout, bro.
Yeah, it
Like,
is.
half the people that, and don't get me wrong, it's people who actually cold, but they also had the clout on top of being good. And got all the reporters talking about them all the time or whatever.
Marketing.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to just start making videos and shit, like workout videos or whatever. And it's this dude named Caleb Wilgrow. He shoot with, like, Justin Jefferson all the time right now. But he was doing my videos back then. And ended up going to college, Mizzou, playing football there. That was like that. I think term, I just like the clout that came with playing football over actually playing football. So after I left Mizzou, I went to University of New Mexico. New Mexico is the worst year of my fucking life, bro. Like, talk about some depression. Like, bro, on campus, people getting stabbed on campus. There's nothing to do.
Wow.
I'm eating Chick-fil-A bro, I hate Chick-fil-A, like, to this day, because I was eating it every single day in New Mexico, bro. Think about when y'all have ever seen me be like, I'm getting Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
Never.
never.
Nah.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I would not eat that
I love
shit.
Chick-fil-A personally.
like that.
I
I
love
like that.
Got the sauce in the place right now.
That Polynesian honey mustard.
I can't resist that.
So, yeah, after that, when I got to New Mexico, I had tore my labrum in my AC joint during the season. And it was to a point where, like, I couldn't even lift my arm past, like, here, bro. And I'm like, I got to do something else. New Mexico, I'm going to just say that football team is ass. Team still ass.
Also
Coach
talk about
Gonzalez is a terrible fucking coach.
yo
Dan.
Coach, never
keeping
mind.
it real. I want to talk about how competitive the SEC is.
Bro,
Football,
SEC, yeah.
like you have to be talented
yeah,
to play
that's like
that.
baby NFL, bro. So, like, that's the first school I went to. So that's the conference with, like, Alabama, you got Mizzou, you got Auburn, you got, like, all the big schools.
Mhm.
And it's crazy, like, the facilities insane. You get to cook food in the morning for yourself. They build your class schedule. Bro, I've never, like, done classes, like, put my classes on the schedule, like, this is what I want to take.
They did it.
It be curated for you. If you go and don't like it the first week, you can swap it for something else. And I just say, like, the work ethic you gotta have for that, like, you gotta be really ready. Like, I'm gonna go to the league or you not, cause it's sink or swim with that. Cause everybody good, man. Everybody's like NFL good.
Yeah.
And I would say for receivers, the best conference to go to is probably like the Big Ten,
Mhm.
like Ohio State,
Penn
because
State.
everybody's gonna throw the ball. Like Big
Yeah.
Ten, when it's third down and 2 yards, they might still throw the ball. Like, so yeah. After that, I ended up going to Mexico, worst year of my life. Then tore my labrum AC joint, and I'm like, I gotta do something else. And I'm sitting there talking to like 5th year seniors and shit, bro. They're like, oh, like, bro, this is gonna be the year. Like, I'm gonna go dumb. We going to the league, da da da. And I'm just like, bro, no, you're not. Like, and not that I'm trying to even hate, but I'm a realist, bro. So you've been in college for 5 years. Our team is 3-6 right now. You're not playing now. Like, you're not doing anything spectacular. I could pull up 12 running backs that's doing way better than you, bro. And that's not even like a hating thing, but I think it was more, and this is me young as a freshman, sophomore, telling fifth-year seniors that,
Like 18,
yeah,
19.
they've been here doing this, bro. That is more ways to get stuff done outside of, like, I'm going to just play football. I've been playing football my whole life. And usually when people stop playing football, they'll be like, go work at like a car dealership or something. And there's nothing, listen, bro.
Or coach.
Yeah, or coach, bro. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I always knew, like, I had more shit to me than playing football, bro. And
I'm
once
laughing
I tore,
because it's real.
yeah,
It's
once
real.
I tore the shit in my shoulder, I dropped clothes. I dropped the T-shirt. This tattoo that's on my arm, like the little devil. It was called the brand was Syndicate Studios, which I didn't just brought back to life
Revamp.
now. And the first T-shirt was like Players Club. It had the little devil on it, and it was like Players Club. I made that shit on Photoshop in like 15 minutes, bro. And it was crazy because it was my first time like using Photoshop. My homie Zarek was making clothes or whatever. I'm like, I'm gonna just sit in his room, watch him do it for a second. I'm gonna just go do it. Made that, shirts end up dropping out. Next thing we get to like hoodies I made because I sold out on those. They end up selling out. And it was mostly like just the hoes and like people I was playing football with and like actual girls who just rock with me. So end up selling out. I had like 4 or 5K. I'm like, all right, let's do this. Like I can make clothes. End of the football season come around. I'm like, okay, that Pell Grant for college, I'm going to get my Pell Grant and I'm going to just quit. And so they send you the email like, yeah, Pell Grant. It was like $6,000 Pell Grant. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take that. I waited till it got into my bank account, though, because I know if I said something early, they was going to try to, like, clip that shit as fast as possible. So it hit my bank account, and I called my coach. I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm done. He's like, what you mean? I'm like, bro, this shit was ass. Like, it's just, I quit, bro. Boom, hung up the phone and drove back home. My mom's like, so you going to drop out? You dropped out? And she's like, even still to this day, not with the whole concept, but she's like, you still going to drop out? I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, you're not coming home to stay with me. I said, sweetheart, that was never in the plan. Like, I got it. So moved back to St. Louis. My homie Tay worked at this warehouse. Like, we built bearings for, like, the cap machines and stuff like that.
Word?
And it was fun, bro, because it's just like, yeah, we do fashion, and you'll catch me in a baby tee and some bell bottoms and X, Y, and Z. But, bro, I'm a man at the end of the day, and I like doing, like, the manly shit, like building shit, putting shit
Bearings.
together. Like,
That's
bro,
crazy.
I know,
yeah,
that's crazy.
bro, and it's, like, real intricate, like, having to really pay attention. But after a while, it's, like, muscle memory. So we're there from 6 to 2:30 a.m. You'll build, like, 150 bearings in a day, bro.
Dang, I didn't even talk about
That's
my
working
warehouse
with your
job.
hands.
Yeah, the warehouse.
When I was, I'm gonna tell you this real quick, but when I was in New Orleans, like after my freshman year, I had to go back home for the summer because I didn't have an apartment yet. And then I was like, bro, I had to work at an ice factory, bro.
What?
You know the bags of ice that
Yeah,
grocery
yeah.
stores have, like
Yeah,
the
of
bags
course.
of ice,
You
bro. I was
making
packing
them.
those. I was making those.
Wow.
You know, you working in the freezer. I was working overnight, like, bro. I was grinding,
Shivering.
bro. I was
Nah,
trying to get
bro.
an apartment, so like
Yeah, nah,
the
for sure.
warehouse jobs. like,
Warehouse jobs, they gonna humble your ass real fast.
I was quite humbled after
Yeah.
that.
And so everybody at my teams is like, bro, you gonna quit? You just gonna go get a job? Like, what else am I supposed to do? Like, yes, I'm gonna go get a job. I'm gonna work and make some bread. And bro, I was getting money from there too. Like, checks was fat because I was there all day, all night, 7 days a week, overtime, bro. So kind of built myself up there, and I'm like, I'm gonna just move to New York. And this is kind of like where the girlfriend played a role in, because she's lived here before. The one that I had, my ex that I had that lived in St. Louis with me. Right. Lived in St. Louis with me. So we like, oh, we gonna move to New York, blah, blah, blah. And I'm getting bread. Like, don't get me wrong, she did what she had to do, but like, I was putting like some money into trying to get here. Long story short, ended up moving here at like with like $2,000, bro. My rent was $1,600. After that, paid that shit. I'm like, fuck, $400. And you gotta remember, you got a girlfriend, bro. So it's not like you could just be like, shut off from the work. She still gonna want to go do shit. She still blah blah blah. But that's like where me and her disconnect was too, because I'm about sacrifices. Y'all see me wear a certain piece of clothing. Let's say the clothing is $1,200. If I gotta pay a bill, that shit is gone. Like I'm selling it, bro. At the end of the day, I will go get a job. So when I moved here, I worked at Cipriani, bro.
Oh wow, you did?
Yeah, like
Oh,
banquet
wow.
catering services. So we'll do like events. And when you work in those, they just want you to serve food. Don't say nothing to the guests, bro. I'm working like Louis Vuitton events. Some event they had at Cipriani that had like Drake, 21, all the Kardashians and all. Bro, I worked that. And y'all think I'm not finna talk to none of them?
Yeah, no,
Y'all
that's
out
crazy.
y'all mind, bro. So worked
Wow.
at Cipriani, ended up working at Riff. And then after Riff, I worked at Kenzo. And that kind of fall into like me really jumping into like that content creator space, because it was, I came here thinking I was going to model. But then, oh, you got too many tattoos. You got this, that, and the third. And I could have been on some pussy shit and just be like, oh, it's not going to work. Like, maybe I go back home. I'm like, okay, I know how I'm going to get into this. It's going to be clout.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the only way it was going to work. So I started, like, ramping up doing content and everything. Bro, like, still to this day, I don't know. And I'll just say, like, for people who trying to follow their dreams and stuff, you got to be willing to, like, die behind what you getting at, bro. Because even till this day, like, bro, I don't talk to my family because of this shit, bro. And I would rather it be this way that it is instead of, like, oh, I hated playing college football, but my mom's banking on me to be the meal ticket, so I'm going to keep, like, playing football. I don't want to get up and do it. It was to a point where I would wake up for practice and be like, bro, I'd just rather take fit pics today, bro, and, like, make some videos. So that's when I knew I was going to quit and be done. And so, like, everybody talk about, oh, my support system, this, that, and the third. Bro, I came out of here off myself and, like, mindset and luck. It's not like if some shit go wrong, that's it, bro. I can't be like, Ma, can you come to New York and, like, help me take my thing? That's not happening, bro. Like, I'm going to be out here homeless and fucked up, bro. And my mindset's never going to let me get there. Like, and even if it do get there, I'm going to get back to where I'm at and where I'm going now. But just on the content creator space, yeah, and I've like, my page and stuff been blowing up for the last 6 months and everything. And I'll say this, if you got a girl or anybody that's hindering your life, bro, clip that shit. Because, like, 2 days after that breakup me and her had, my life was like, bro, my life went crazy after that, bro. And we was talking about this the other day. Like, she's sick, bro. The bag got fumbled, bro. The bag got fumbled. And I don't know. I think that was one of the best things that happened to me. So now I'm just in this space where I just, like, create all the time. I was able to quit my 9 to 5 because I'm doing this. Also, like, oh, and Andrew convinced me to quit my job too. He's like, bro, honestly, I would just say, like, and y'all don't know Jordan, but Jordan's also, like, one. We gotta have Jordan on here.
Yeah, I told him already. He said,
Okay.
"What's up?" By the way.
I haven't got to meet
what
him.
up, bro? So Jordan's like, bro, think about this. And taking Jordan advice, he didn't really know the dynamics of, like, what I got going on because I knew Andrew long. Andrew's like, bro, fuck that shit, bro. Just quit. Like, he's like, bro, do it today, actually. Like, he's like, leave on good standing. Obviously, don't, like, make them feel below you or nothing leaving. But he's like, bro, you're going to be fine. Just quit and lock into what you got to do. Now we on the podcast, bro, that we didn't came
Now
up
we on
with
the podcast.
this fast. And I don't know, bro. My story crazy. I ain't even, like, cut through half of it, but I ain't going to, keep going, man.
No,
I
that was
start
a good-
crying
That was
in
a
here,
good one.
bro.
You got the.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
So I guess it's my turn then.
Oh, me, the head man.
Shit. So I was born in San Francisco, but when I was 2 years old, moved to Iowa, which is where I grew up. And so basically my story of how I landed here was growing up in Iowa. I think I was just like a little bit of a misfit. Like, you know, I was a little skater kid. That's pretty much all I did. Was super big into rap music and really just, like, kept to myself. Like, it was really hard for me to kind of, like, find my footing within groups of friends. Like, all the Asian kids, I didn't really fit in with them. All the non-Asian kids, like, I don't think they thought I fit in with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I really just spent a lot of time online. like online communities, whether it was like clothing forums, music forums. It really just forced me to like learn how to use the internet early. And I feel like from young, like I was super interested in like just watching groups of people move around online. Like that was something that was interesting because like these people aren't connected by anything except for the web. And like, I mean, all of us growing up, we saw the internet change. So like you could see herds of people. Like, I mean, one year it was Vine. At one point it was
Vine
Twitter.
was cracking.
bro.
Yeah, like that was the same thing as it is now, but it was like totally different platforms and trends. And like that stuff was always just interesting to me because I think I was missing that connection and I could like see people connecting virtually. And the other thing about me too is like I just always been obsessed with money. So I don't know who it was, but somebody when I was a kid planted that seed in my head that I was going to be rich when I grew up. And like I never, ever forgot about that. Like I would go to my neighbor's house and like clean their bicycles and then like ask them how much they're going to pay me after I clean their bicycles.
Yeah.
And
Real
like
hustler.
I was like, you know, in second grade walking around with $200 and I would just like look at my money. I just always just like look at my money all the time. My mom would always be like, why are you carrying around $200? You're in like fourth grade. It's like all the money I'd ever had, never spent it. And I just liked the feeling of like, I can go and buy like 20 hot dogs right now or some Pokemon cards or whatever. So anyways, like that kind of combined when I was in high school and college, I just started selling stuff online. So like at one point I was selling cell phones to India. I was like the plug for iPhones for this Indian store.
What?
Bro really had
What?
motion
Yeah,
at a
that's
young
awesome.
age.
That's real
bruh.
hustling. Real
on
hustling.
Craigslist, just like flipping
Motion.
phones and stuff like that, like teaching my friends how to flip phones. But really like where it kind of all started to come together was like I was super into Soulja Boy and Lil Wayne growing up. And so I found out what Supreme was and I found out like how to get the rare stuff when it dropped. And actually, like, what people don't know is that the Bravest Instagram account, it used to be my Supreme reselling account.
What?
So,
Just changed it.
yeah, people sometimes are like, yo, like, it's crazy that Tremaine Emery, the creative director of Supreme, follows you guys or whatever. And it's like, that actually happened because he used to buy Supreme from my page. Back when I was in
What? That is
college.
That's crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, so like I was like kind of one of the bigger resellers because I had all my friends like buying it online and stuff like that, and that's really how I met people in the streetwear and fashion community online because I was going to school in Indiana, like still had no friends, just like doing my shit online. But some of the people that I knew from that community, they were starting their own brands and like some of them became successful. That's a story for like a whole nother day, but like I'll just say one of them shows at Paris Fashion Week now. Actually, two of them do.
That's crazy.
But yeah, like I saw that and I was like, wow, like we were all kind of doing the same thing, just like obsessing over the same products. Like they just took it one step further and like really like honestly, they took a step back because the clothing that they were making obviously wasn't as cool or as fun to wear as the stuff we were buying. But I watched them like take that step back. I watched other people clown them. I watched them put in their 4 or 5 years and then like now, you know, they're doing shit that people couldn't even imagine. So like I feel like I just watched people do that for long enough and then I realized like the only difference between somebody who's like that, who's shown at Paris Fashion Week and like somebody who's just collecting clothes or like, you know, being a consumer is like just taking that first step. And so around 2019, I remember I listened to a Jeff Staple podcast and he was like, if you really want to do this shit, like just come to New York during Fashion Week and try to finesse your way into as many events as possible. So 2019, like fall 2019, I did exactly that. One of my friends let me crash on his couch and I remember being in the Helmut Lang show. I think it was like their last time they ever showed in New York Fashion Week. I just remember like rubbing shoulders with people that I'd seen online, like A$AP Ferg, Joey Badass, and people like that. And I was like close enough to them where I could talk to them and they'd be like, what do you do? You know, like I had an interesting jacket on. I had, you know, a little fit on and they were like, what do you do? And I was like, I literally just work a normal desk job. Like that kind of like really broke me in that moment because I had been so immersed in this community for so long. And then I feel like I was put into a situation that I could never see myself in. And I didn't really have anything to show people that I looked up to. And I was like unsure whether I'd ever have an opportunity like that. So ever again. So I flew back to San Francisco and like, really that's when I started planning my move out here. And, you know, I had these ideas to make some clothes and things like that. And really like, I still didn't feel like I was ready, but that experience of like basically fumbling, you know, a huge connection pushed me to actually do something, whether I felt ready or not. And to be honest, like even today with this podcast, like I don't feel ready to do it, but we're here doing it and we're going to see how it looks and sounds after. But, you know, that's really one thing that I learned. And honestly, like it was a combination of just being prepared and like my past experiences and honestly a lot of luck that put me here. And, you know, the story of Bravest kind of blowing up, that's another story that we'll talk about in another day. But, yeah, long story short, that's really like my background and kind of where I come from.
All right, that's the end of this video.
End of this video, y'all.
Episode 1.
Make sure
it
you tune in.
Kinda, you know, I don't even know how it ended, but it
Thanks
ended.
for tuning
It's done.
in.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. I know people think that shit corny, but
It works.
Please support it.
do that.
Please
though.
support
Support
Like,
it.
for
We,
real.
this is our first episode.
This our first
man.
podcast.
And
we
we
gave
gonna be
it to
doing
y'all.
multiple gyms every now and then. You just never know what you gonna get out of these,
Mhm.
bro. Shout out Owen for setting this up and hearing
My
me
man.
talk about, you know,
Shout out
BS
Andrew.
on me.
Shout out
Thank
OG.
you.
Shout out
Shout out the
CK.
whole gang, man.
CJ 1K.
Hey,
All
man.
right,
Yes,
bro.
sir.
Another one in the
Thank
books.
y'all. Thank y'all, man.
First one.
And cut.
You just gotta take
And
the
cut.
look. I want to leave y'all with. Y'all just gotta take the first step. We out.